Welcome to Blow Up Your Productivity. Today, I want to teach you how to set the foundation to increase your productivity beyond your wildest imagination. Visit us at wawlifecoaching.com. Most of us feel overwhelmed in our lives. We are too busy saying yes to more tasks and responsibilities than actually getting things done. We feel behind, overwhelmed, and it feels impossible to get caught up. The stack of work just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We are inundated by information. Estimates vary widely, but we receive somewhere between 50 and 200 digital messages per day. We see between 4,000 and 10,000 ads each day. We are shown far more information than we could ever hope to perceive. Our brains have been hijacked, and many of us are spinning our wheels, working hard, wondering why we're not getting more done. And in self development, productivity has become a buzzword. But let's be clear on what it is we're talking about. Productivity is the measure of how efficiently one can complete tasks and achieve goals within a certain time frame. Efficiency, completion, and timeliness are key elements here. We all have 24 hours in a day, and as time ticks by, we eventually find that working harder is not the way to get more done. So we try to slow down and work smarter. But then we feel the pressure of the outside world asking, "Why don't you look busier?" And this is interesting. Paradoxically, being busy is more often a signal that we're not being productive. So, are you going to stay with the pack or are you going to join the productive pack? We all have the same 168 hours in a week. If we're lucky, we sleep 8 hours a night, leaving 112 hours left in our week. We work 40 hours and sometimes more. This leaves us 72 hours. The average commute is 1 hour per day, and that brings us to 65 hours. And that's set high purposefully to illustrate a point. We have time to burn. If you have children, the average time tending to them is 3 hours per day for a total of 21 hours, leaving 44 hours per week. Now, that's a whole work week. I don't bring this up to disempower you, but quite the opposite. Even if you could think of 10 things that you could add to the list that I didn't mention, and you only had, say, 10 hours left over, what could you accomplish then? That's still 10 hours. Could you start that side business? Could you organize the garage? Could you use that 10 hours to exercise? We feel time pressure, but for most of us, time isn't the problem. There are those who have things figured out, the productive pack. You may know someone in this pack. They never seem to be behind. In fact, they exude a state of calm and seem ahead of the curve. They've enabled themselves to oscillate between the planning stage and the execution stage. It takes practice. Productivity is a skill. Those who seem to have time for everything are probably just well practiced. Perhaps you can think of a time when you increased your productivity for a while, and then things went off track. That's good. This simply means that you were practicing, although you may have reacted as though you failed or that it's just too difficult to change. What is true for being ultra productive is that it requires a great foundation, and that is what we want to provide for you today. Again, it will take practice and commitment on your part, but implementing this foundation for the long run will see you enhancing your productivity to astronomical levels. So let's get started. The foundation of a great personal productivity system involves four elements: a note taking or information capture system, a to do list, a calendar, and a planning and review habit. So let's take a moment to dive a bit deeper into each element. Before we move on, there's a choice that you'll have to make. Do you prefer digital or traditional planning systems? I recommend digital for several reasons, but first, accessibility. One of the best things about using a digital planner is that it can be used on your personal device and can sync across many other devices. So, whether you're on your desktop, your phone, or your laptop, your productivity runs seamlessly throughout each device. Next, digital planners are more commonly customizable than traditional planners. You can choose from a variety of layouts, colors, and designs, and easily add or remove sections and pages as needed. Thirdly, digital planners are more efficient than traditional. It is far easier to make changes and for the planner to provide additional support, such as reminders on your phone or email. If there were to be an argument for traditional planners, it's that there's a special connection between the hand and the brain. By writing something down, it seems to have a much deeper impact on us. We are more invested in what we write, and it has a more fundamental connectedness. But as we'll discuss, even though I still like handwritten notes, calendars, and plans, there are digital solutions for that as well. Whatever you decided, make a choice and stick with it. Now, the first thing we'll talk about is a system for note and information capture. A digital example of this would be the iPhone's Notes app, OneNote, or something equivalent. Anything that is accessible and easy to enter notes on, even when you're in a rush. A traditional example would be a note card. Whichever you choose, this note and information capture tool should be with you all day, every day. During the day, you're taking notes with this tool, notes from emails, notes from conversations, to do items that come to mind. You're taking notes on your life. This may seem tedious, but one of the reasons that we end up not being productive is that we run out of energy. We run out of mental energy, and we don't run our systems correctly after this point. The main reason this happens is that we spend a lot of our day managing what's called our cognitive load. This is essentially just having a lot on our minds. Beginning immediately, download these thoughts, these things on your mind, onto your note capture tool as soon as they come to mind. Building this habit will keep your cognitive load low, allowing you more mental space for actually doing the tasks. Next, you're going to need a to do list. You'll use the to do list to further clarify the information you took on your capture tool. Work to extract the actionable items and put the clear actions on your to do list. This part is important, and it's important that there's a clear distinction between your note capture tool and your to do list. The capture system is the net, it catches all of the information, in theory. The to do list gives you clarity on where to take action. The to do list is distilled from your capture system. If you're listening to a conference call, for example, you may be taking notes. Much of what is being said is just need to know. It's important to know, but not necessarily a task. So you're taking notes to refer to later to spark your memory. But then there's a call to action, a specific task in the context of all the information that you'll need to take action on. While this is initially captured in your note taking tool, you'll extract the actionable and ensure that this ends up on your to do list. And we'll talk more about how to systemize that in a few minutes. Next, we'll discuss calendars. Using a calendar is the third dimension of your productivity foundation. On your phone or computer, you can find various iterations of digital calendars. Before you get too fancy, you'll just need a calendar in which you can easily add, cancel, and change appointments and events as well as block time out for focused work blocks. A calendar helps keep track of deadlines, appointments, and events. With a calendar, you can allocate time for specific tasks and ensure that you complete them within the designated time frame, managing that key currency of time. It also helps you prioritize tasks and avoid procrastination. You can use a digital calendar or a paper-based one depending on your preference. To make the most of your calendar, schedule time for both work and leisure activities. Block out time for meetings, appointments, and deadlines, and use reminders to ensure that you don't miss them. Additionally, Schedule time for exercise, hobbies, and other leisure activities. You have to live a balanced lifestyle. You should have one calendar to reference all of the things in your life. And this is where practice will come into play. Here, we'll have to make sure that we have patience, have a growth mindset in regards to this piece of the puzzle. The net of your capture system will miss things at first. For example, things will end up on your to do list that are low priority, and high priority things will be left off. Practice, be open, learn, keep with it, and the system will work out. You'll have to increase your trust in yourself. To do this, keep an open mind and ask, what can I learn from this? Take note of your learnings and put them to good work. The glue that makes this whole thing work here is the time you take to plan. I recommend a weekly 1 hour planning session and a nightly 5 minute plan replanning session for the next day. In the AM, before anything, review what you're setting out to do as was planned the night before. During the weekly 1 hour planning session, spend about 20% of that time reviewing your progress during the previous week. Ask, did you follow the plan? What caused sidetracks? What was successful? How did the plan change as the week went on? Take what you learn in these questions and apply them to the plans of next week. If you plan too many activities and didn't finish things, lighten up your load. Many of us aren't particularly good at identifying how long tasks will take. We assume far less time than it actually takes. Give yourself plenty of time. If you give yourself too many tasks, you could end up in a perpetual cycle of disappointment due to not getting things done. On the other hand, if you lighten your load, you will get more done than you thought possible, and this will give you energy. All in all, the game we're playing is to have your plan match what you ultimately do. The weekly review will build self awareness and a sense of control over the coming week. So let's review the foundation of a great personal productivity system. It involves 4 elements: a note taking or information capture system, a to do list, a calendar, and a planning and review habit. Let's take a closer look. The capture tool should be with you at all times. If you've chosen digital for your system, then your phone will suffice. If you've chosen traditional, a note card or a small notepad will work. As information comes at you, you're taking it all down. This is like a net to catch all of the information that you're thrown. And in truth, there's no way you can catch it all. Your to do list should be completed each day or each week from the information collected with your capture tool. If you take care of daily tasks, you can check them off. There are many variations of both digital and traditional to do lists. The to do lists range in levels, dimensions, and functionality. Some of them include a calendar as well. Then we have our calendar. Our calendar is where we can schedule our tasks. Remember, we all only have so many hours in the week, 168. So let the important things be the important things. Get the to dos scheduled on your calendar. And finally, your planning and review sessions. Schedule about an hour on Sunday to review the week behind you and plan for the upcoming week. Then, each day, take 10 minutes in the morning to mentally take in your day. Using your capture tool, make any additions to your to do list and schedule those to dos. Also, take 5 minutes at night to reschedule unfinished tasks and reschedule them. Get peace of mind that you are working your plan. Here are some tips. If you're going the digital route, I strongly suggest Microsoft OneNote. With Microsoft OneNote, you can take notes on your computer or your phone, and they all sync to one account. The aesthetic is perfect for keeping a lot of information perfectly organized. This is probably one of the best Microsoft programs available. In addition, and probably like other apps and programs of the same sort, you can scan in written notes, take voice recordings, and upload PDFs and other documents to each note. For to-do lists, I recommend Todoist. There's a free version available for both desktop and on your phone. You can easily add to-dos, and it is fully integratable with Google Calendar and iCal for Mac. So when you add a task and assign it with a date and time, it shows up on your calendar as such. And for your digital calendar, I'd just make sure that it's compatible with your to-do list app. If you're going the way of traditional productivity systems, I have to recommend a simple note card and a note card holder. You can get this on Amazon for a few bucks, and it helps keep your notes crisp and organized. You can have it there in your pocket, somewhere nearby, and that you can easily take notes on. And for your task list and calendar, I recommend the High Performance Planner. You can get one of these online or at any office supply store. They're a great way to go the traditional route, and there is a ton of productivity data and hacks inside. The other bonus here is that you have your calendar and your to do list in one spot. The downside is that you'll have to purchase a new one every 90 days. Thanks for watching. Download your free Blow Up Your Productivity cheat sheet as well.